Yep.
Just
Okay.
about.
Oh, she said.
My name is Tanya Terry, and I'm the Deputy Chief of Operations for IMPD. As always, this information I'm about to share with you is preliminary and subject to change. Before I get to the incident, let me say that my thoughts are with everyone that was impacted by this incidents of violence out here tonight, including the victims, their families, and the first responders that were managing this chaotic scene and rendering aid. Here's what we know so far. At approximately 1:27 a.m., officers were investigating a disturbance at Washington and Meridian Street. They were notified of another disturbance down the street at Illinois and Washington Street. As officers were approaching that second disturbance, they heard shots fired, and as they arrived on the scene, they encountered several people suffering from apparent gunshot wounds. Officers and IEMS medics who were embedded with our officers immediately began rendering aid to the victims that they were encountering. They also called for several additional ambulances. In total, we had 5 victims transported away from the scene to area hospitals for treatment. A 6th victim was pronounced dead on the scene. A 7th victim walked into an area hospital and is in stable condition. 3 of those victims are juveniles and 3 are adults. We did not know the identity or the age of the victim that was pronounced dead at the scene. The victim who died at the hospital was a juvenile. We have also recovered several firearms at the scene. We do not yet know whether those firearms were involved in this incident. Our detectives will work to determine that. And we have multiple people, about 7 people detained for further investigation. We also don't know their involvement at this point in time. The investigation is early. I think that's the very brief facts that we have at this time. At this point, I'll turn it over to Chief Bailey.
Chris Bailey, Chief of Police for the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department. Just to add on a little bit to what she said about our thoughts and prayers for the victims here tonight, their families, and the long road ahead for all of them as we try to uncover exactly what and why this all happened tonight. This kind of violence, whether downtown or any of our neighborhoods, is completely unacceptable and unnecessary. Unnecessary. Thousands of people came downtown tonight, enjoyed the fireworks, and went home. Thousands more chose to come down here and all night cause trouble. I was down here until about 12:30 tonight. I worked with my officers, took the runs with them, dealt with the disturbances, dealt with the utter disrespect for our city, for our laws, and for law enforcement. Hundreds of unsupervised kids down here. I don't know how many times I have to say it. We are not your children's keepers. You are. And parents and guardians have got to step up. A kid is dead tonight. And we just don't know the age of the young man down the street. Still here, dead. He looks young. It's unacceptable. The police department all night long went from place to place to place, trying to prevent these kind of things. And I gotta be honest, I'm tired of it. You should be tired of it. This is not our job to do this. It is unnecessary. You don't have to act like this. Our officers half a block away from me before this shooting started, dealing with another group of individuals fighting. We made almost, probably, well, we're still tallying them, about 20 arrests tonight. Recovered guns that I know of before this happened from 2 kids. One of them was an assault rifle stuffed in the front of his pants. I'm not sure anymore what it's going to take for some in our community to wake up. I've said it. This is where the kids are. This is where they are on Friday and Saturday nights. If you want to engage them, if you want to help them, you want to prevent some of this violence, this is where they are. Here they're here. Come down. I invite all of those who think that I'm exaggerating this or that I'm saying just because it's downtown. No. Nowhere else in the city is this concentration of people in one small area, less than a half a mile. Come down and see for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. You can see them being dropped off by their parents. 5 or 6 at a time out of the car. You can see them jump out of Ubers and Lyfts. You can see them jumping off the buses that they ride down, that they miss and then linger around downtown. Heck, look to your left. You're still going to see some people that probably shouldn't be out here right now lingering. Not going to bars, not going to restaurants, didn't come down here to see the fireworks, shooting fireworks off at our community from the top of parking garages. Unnecessary. Questions?
Is it going to take other city departments to step up?
Now, see, we can keep going back to what's the government going to do? What's the city going to do? The city's invested in this. Millions of dollars the city, taxpayers pay for police overtime to staff this 1 square mile area with, there was a couple hundred cops down here between state police and Capitol Police and IMPD and other police department agencies. Yes, we're going to keep doing our job. The city of Indianapolis, government, the police department is going to continue to do our job. We're not going to solve this. Not just by the police. We made 20 arrests tonight.
Maybe you're a dad.
Yeah.
What would you say to those parents out there?
I don't understand it. I know where my kids are at all times. So maybe that's, maybe I shouldn't be that way. 16-year-old daughter. I cannot imagine letting her roam around down here tonight like she was, like the kids were. Unattended, unsupervised, nothing to do. Some of these individuals that were shot could have been very well not engaged in any kind of disturbance whatsoever. But it just caught up in a crossfire. Nearly down here, enjoying ice cream. Or maybe they were down here for the fireworks or wanted to see what's going on in the circle and got caught up in whatever's happening. But look, nothing good happens after midnight. Some of these kids should not have been out here, period. They missed the bus going back. Was some of the stories that we heard. One of our officers prevented 2 young girls from getting into a stranger's car because they missed the bus to go back home. Wait, you have no ability to call your parents? Your parents wouldn't come pick you up if you missed the bus? There is a problem. There is a problem. It's not going to be solved by the police. It's our job to try to keep people safe, and they did it tonight. I watched it with my own eyes. I helped do some of it. They did all the work. They ran toward the gunfire down here as they were working another fight. They're all in. They're all in. So when I hear people say, oh, we're just worried about minor things in downtown Indianapolis. No, minor things turn into big things. The amount of guns that I saw tonight on people roaming around here with nothing else to do. You can't do anything about it. Unless you're a kid, there's nothing, unless you're doing something with the gun or doing something illegal. We can't go up and ask you what you're doing with the gun. That turns into bad things, especially when there's fights or when there's alcohol or there's weed induced.
So Can you confirm it was one juvenile and then one adult DJ?
We know for sure that there is one dead kid. The other one, dead individual, we're still. There's been nothing that occurred to make any kind of positive. I guarantee you, we're gonna share everything over the next day or so. All the arrests, what they were for. We're gonna give you pictures of the guns that we took from these kids, and we'll share more details about what happened here. This could have very well happened in any neighborhood. But this is where the kids were. And I've told you this is where the kids were. This is where the kids are. I've told everyone this.
Message tonight to the ones who come downtown. Unfortunately, this is the second weekend we've had mass situations here downtown with kids. The message to these kids is
This is not just the second weekend. This has been going on for years. Except now, a lot of these, I'm gonna use my words carefully. A lot of these kids have guns. And we know some of the indicators, right? Backpacks on backwards. Some of them are wearing masks and other things where they can easily disguise themselves because there's cameras everywhere. They did it right under a camera tonight. We made those arrests in the Canal shooting and one at 30 South Meridian Street. Technology helped us do that. We're going to use technology again. We're going to find out who did it, and we're going to hold them accountable. And if I can convince the prosecutor to hold parents accountable, I'm going to do that too. I don't know that I can because there's a set of rules, and I may see the rules differently than the prosecutor, as the prosecutor has to prosecute. But I'm going to seek some kind of accountability to parents. There has to be more than just what are the police doing.
That'll be our final question. Thank you all.